Hello everyone, welcome back. Before midterm, we started modifying toolbar in AutoCAD. We will continue with some other tools within the modifying toolbar. Now, the one that we'll be covering in this video will be move command. A move command is not for drawing, as we said that mainly the modifying toolbar is for modification, but some of them we can use them in drawing. So move, the name of it, is basically to move objects from a place to a place. We will use this command if we have multi-objects, multi-drawings. Let's say that we don't want to draw all of them over each other. We're going to draw them separately. At the end, we'll bring them back together. This is mainly the idea of using move command, or just simply moving an object from the screen to somewhere from somewhere. Nothing more. So we're going to go over it fast. So only you will use it if you have many objects, you draw them and you're going to combine them together. So the idea of move is what? You have the main object before moving. So before moving, you have the main object. That's basically here. Those are the main objects, we have them. Then let's say after movement, we're going to bring them, see here. We'll try to move it away to somewhere else. So what do we have? We need a distance that we're moving. We need a distance that this object will be moved from here to here. This is one of the information that we needed. Let's say someone is telling you to move this fridge to somewhere. Well, basically you need to know where to go, yes? So same way, we need a distance to move this object from a point to another point. Now the red part of it we call base point. Base point is what? Sometimes you're trying to move something. Let's say even if there is a phone in your hand. When you're trying to move it, what will you do? First you grab it with a point. You grab it with a point, then you place it somewhere. So the point that you're grabbing the object with, in AutoCAD, that will be referred as base point. So you're grabbing the phone with a finger basically. So it means that with your hand, it doesn't matter if you're trying with two fingers. So the two finger that you're grabbing it, if you grab it with two finger, that's basically will be base point. So base point can be any point on the object, outside of the object, it doesn't matter. But usually we use a point to place it with. So it's the same point that we place the object with. For example, I can choose this point or somewhere outside, anywhere but we will use the same point to place it somewhere. So usually we use a base point that we have information. Let's say we know information from center to center, so we use center as base point. If I have information from this corner to somewhere, so we will use that as a base point. Or let's say we want to move it to a coordinate, a special coordinate, we can use base point, somewhere that we will place it by that point. Remember this one. Somewhere base point will be a point that we have information after movement. So let's say that, for example, after movement, this object will no longer will be there. So the dash line means that it will disappear here. It will come to the point that you have it. We're going to do an example, very simple one, to see how this works. So we're going to draw these three objects. Let's say we have 3, 30, 110, and we have a rectangle there. So I'm going to start drawing this one, 30, 110. This is the screen. So we have 10, 20. I'm trying to draw the another rectangle. We have a circle with diameter 15 and a line with 25. So with 15 and a line with 25. And let's say we have these three objects, and the requirement says that what, after moving, create something like this. So we want to make it to be something like this. We will move from this corner, for example, we have the rectangle. From this coordinate, we'll move it 100 units away from, and then we'll bring the circle, the center of the circle, we'll bring it here to be the midpoint of this one, and we'll bring the line somewhere here. For example, this point will be 140.85. So when you're trying to move, there is two things you needed: whether you were to move or how much you need to move, then something that you will use it for a base point. Now we said base point, usually it's the point that we have information on it. Now for this rectangle, it's this corner that I have information, because I know that from this corner to this corner is 100 units. So this will be a base point for me before moving on this, basically here, which will bring it here. Then for the circle, the base point will be center, because I know the location of the center will be here. And for this line, the base point will be this point, because I know that I will bring this one to somewhere here. So basically the base point we're gonna use for the line here, because it's gonna come somewhere here. We know exactly where does it go. And for the center, for the circle, we're gonna use base point to be the center, because we know that this is gonna come there. And for the rectangle, we're gonna use this one as a base point, which we know that is gonna come somewhere here. So the three cases that I have it, one of them I have the distance, one of them it's a known location, the third one is a coordinate. So we're gonna show to you how do you move it by three cases: with the distance, with a known location, and with a coordinate. So this is the case we have it. We're gonna first move this rectangle, then the circle, then the line. Now in order to do move, there is two methods. There's two ways to do it. The way, first one, it's a bit, maybe two steps longer than the other one. Well, I'm sure we're gonna put both of you. We'll activate move command. It will ask you select objects. If you're able to read the cursor, it says that select objects. S stands for multi-object. So since you're moving, you can select multi. For example, I can click on this line, or I can use the window to select more. Look, I will not be able to continue with a move until I will select all the object. So when the object selection is done, you have to move to the second step. In order to go to the second step, you have to press enter, because it still says that select objects. You're not going to move all of them, because each of them they have different way of movement. So when you finish with the selection, you have to press enter. Then it will ask you specify base point. For the rectangle, we said this is the base point, so I'm going to click at this point. For the base point, we will click somewhere that we have information. So I'll click on this point. As soon as I click on this point, we will see something like this. When we move the mouse away, we will see a dash one, which is the shaded one, means that it will tell me this was the before movement. And you will see as the dynamic movement that where to go. So since I have a horizontal distance, I will make sure it's horizontal, and we will type 100. I'm not gonna click, because I know that from this point, look, the point that I have it, where to go horizontally I will go, and the distance is 100. You'll hit enter, you'll see that it's no longer there, it came here. So this was with distance. You select the point and you input the dimension with the way that we have the horizontal, and it moved to this point. I will repeat this time. I will do the second object with a different method of movement. Now what was the first one? We select move, then we select the object. You realize that I have to select, so if I use this one move, I have to select the object, then I have to press enter in order to continue. Well, then we have to select, for example, the base point. For example, here the center will be the base point. Then look, I only can place this one by the center, and we know that it's going to come to the midpoint here. Now if you cannot see the midpoint, you have to be sure that in the list of objects snap, midpoint is activated. So I can click on the midpoint. Look, I moved the object to this point. Now let me use the second method. The second method is select the object, then press move. In that way you directly start with the base point, because you select the object before activating move, so it does not require enter. This is the second method. So which one you prefer? Which I prefer the selection before activating move command. I'll select the object, then press move command, and if I read the command line, it will ask me specify base point. So base point will be the center, but you have to know, you have to read it before to make sure that it's activated, and that's the base point, and I am bringing it to the midpoint here. So the difference between the two methods, the second one is a bit shorter. You select the object, then you press move command. Now this was easy. Why? Because it's a known location. I could just simply place it here. Now for the third one, this line will be moved to this coordinate, Again, we know which one is the base point because we have information on this point, so we're going to choose this one as a base point, and we're going to send it to 140 by 85. So we will, again, I'm going to select the object first, then I'm going to click on move